Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everyone. On this occasion, I will present about my final project presentation. The topic is software for data processing of very low frequency methods in identifying subsurface structure with a case study Nehan Aceh Besar. My name is Rico from the Instrumentasi 5A. The outline is introduction, theory, method, result, conclusion, and reference. Aceh is an area with high earthquake vulnerability. Activities for estimating subsurface structures as area consideration in implementing development with the best method, namely very low frequency. Very low frequency data processing software is still very rare and produce imperfect cross-section, so new capable software innovation is needed. Okay, the theory for this final project. First, software of VLF. This application utilizes algorithms such as Hazel and moving average to enhance data quality by filtering out noise and generating pseudo-conductivity cross-section that aid in identifying subsurface structure. And this is a frame for the regional geological map of Nehan Aceh Besar village with a modification of Bernard et al. 1982. Aceh is an area that has a seismically active earthquake source. The source of the earthquake comes from a subduction zone. And then the method. First, build the program. Build using Python programming language with a graphical user interface or GUI powered by Thinker. Kinter, the application provides user-friendly feature for visualizing and understanding geophysical data. And then we must do data acquisition. The track use is divided into eight tracks. The frequencies used in the research use the 19.8 kHz from the Australia and 20.4 from the Japan methods. This is because the transmitter is quite close and can be reached via the measurement point. There are 8 paths measured, namely paths A, B, C until H. And we can see this is position where data is was collected. And then data processing. The software is capable of automatically processing with the three types of filtering for analyzing VLF data. The three types for analyzing VLF data: first, Hazel, and then we can see the moving average, and then pressure. Okay, from the three types of filter for analyzing. The first is pressure filter. The function of the pressure filter is used to enhance data anomalies from electromagnetic field data, especially very low frequency data. Its function include reducing noise in the data, converting raw data into positive anomalies for easier interpretation, identifying subsurface structural boundaries such as fault or conductive zone. And the working principle, the Hess filter applies a numerical method that calculates the average difference between consecutive data points. It processes spatial data sequence, producing a smoother and more readable graph. The advantage simply is the interpretation of anomaly data and reduce noise impact without losing significant information. And the next filter is moving average. A function of moving average is used to smooth data by calculating the average of series data points in a sliding window. Its main function are reducing short-term fluctuation in the data and then highlighting major trends in the dataset and identifying patterns or tendencies in fluctuating data. The working principle is replace the original value with the average of neighboring points within a defined window. The process is repeated across the dataset by sliding the window. Advantage simple and fast to implement, suitable for data with significant noise or fluctuation. And the last filter is Karos-Hazel. The function of Karos-Hazel is calculates subsurface current distribution based on VLF electromagnetic field data. Its function include producing subsurface models in 2D cross-section, identifying conductive and resistive zone beneath the surface, determining the depth and the location of geological structures such as fault and or minerals zone. The working principle is models current distribution as response to the primary field using electromagnetic principle, and the result is a conductivity distribution mapping the depth domain. The advantage provides visual result in the form of easily interpretable 2D cross-section, the highly effective for geological exploration such as detecting minerals or fault zones. And this is a result for of pressure filter, and this is a result for moving average filters, and this is result from the Karas-Hazel filter. And the result, this software generates subsurface structure interpretation output based on conductivity analysis at various depth. For the cross-sectional structure, the interpretation is compared with the Palaki table, a standard reference in geophysics for classifying geological materials based on conductivity. The advantage of this approach is its ability to deliver deeper and more accurate interpretation by referencing proven standards like KHH field and the Palaki table. This ensures that the results obtained are more reliable and depicting the subsurface structure. And then we can explain about the compare. Now we can see the comparison between KHH field, the standard software commonly used for processing VLF data, and the software deployed by RICO. It is evident that RICO software is superior or better than KHH field. In KHH field, data input is quite complex, and user must configure the update parameters to generate a cross-section. Manual RICO software only requires data input in Excel, which is then imported into the software. The cross-section becomes clearly visible, along with the average values and environmental condition. And then the last is conclusion. Based on the analysis and the interpretation of the subsurface structure using this software and referring to the Palaki table, it can be concluded that the subsurface structure in Nuhan village, Aceh Besar, show a variation in conductivity that indicates difference between resistive and conductive zone at various depths. At shallow depth, the structures show low conductivity, indicating the presence of resistive materials such as hard rocks or mineral like granite and quartz. At medium depths, the conductivity starts to increase, which may suggest the presence of more conductive materials such as a softer sedimentary rock or limestone. At deeper depth, the conductivity increases further, indicating the presence of highly conductive materials such as clay or water-saturated rocks. I think that's all from me, and this is reference that I'm used for this final project. And I think that's all from me. Thanks for the attention. Thank you, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.